This is Buenos Aires, capital of Argentina and largest city in South America, where about 3 million inhabitants live, work, and play in an atmosphere of old world traditions and new world ideas. Plaza de República, in the heart of the city, commemorates the liberation of Argentina from Spain, and it is built upon a plot of ground under which parking facilities have been provided for over 5,000 motor cars. This is the Calle Florida, the most popular shopping street in the city. Although Buenos Aires is rated as the 9th largest city in the world, it still conducts its traffic the same as it did a half a century ago. In fact, the local policemen boast that theirs is the only metropolis in the world that can handle its traffic without the help of traffic lights. The tallest building in the city is known as the Edificio Cavanaugh. Buenos Aires is perhaps the most beautiful man-made metropolis on Earth, as Mother Nature contributed very little toward it in the way of natural beauty. Among the great leaders of South America was San Jose de Martin, whose house in Buenos Aires is now one of the city's most honored landmarks. San Martin led the forces of freedom which eventually liberated Argentina, Chile, and Peru from the yoke of Spain. On the wall of the house in which he lived may be seen the historic plaques which commemorate his daring deeds and also glorify the memory of the valiant men who rallied to his leadership. When death drives through the streets of Buenos Aires, it is usually a regal and pompous affair in which flowers play a very colorful part. Although an occasional funeral like this momentarily slows the living tempo of the streets, life in its merriest moods never forsakes the city's public parks and playgrounds. This fantastic swimming pool, designed to accommodate 100,000 bathers, is claimed to be the largest of its kind in the world. The public parks of Buenos Aires provide many diversions, not the least of which is miniature sailboat racing, a sport that is taken very seriously by the participants. Vying with miniature sailboat racing are the amusing animal races staged by the children in Palermo Park. In unique contrast with this horseplay are the real horses at San Isidro, where the sport of kings is one of the country's major diversions. The progenitors of Argentina's famous horses were brought from Spain centuries ago and allowed to run wild on the rugged pampas, but their descendants run here today on beautifully cultivated turf. The tracks of San Isidro and Palermo are the leading race courses in the country, and both of them are controlled by the celebrated Jockey Club, around which revolves the more exclusive social life of Buenos Aires. In fact, all social life in Argentina is generally based upon club memberships, not the least of which are the yacht clubs at El Tigre, a popular resort a few miles from Buenos Aires. Gracing the banks of the chocolate-colored waters of the Tigre River are a number of elegantly designed buildings in which are housed the various yacht clubs of Buenos Aires. Aside from sporting life on the river, there is also a more serious traffic in which the business of the day goes on. This is a cattle boat transporting live beef to the rich pasture lands in the Paraná Basin. Here on a tiny fragment of the vast Argentine pampas, we behold something of life as it is in the hinterland of a country which may owe its very existence to beef. For if it were not for beef, it is doubtful that Argentina would be one of the world's foremost countries today. Perhaps there's no place in the world where one may buy good juicy steaks as inexpensively as in Argentina. Although beef is naturally the staff of life for this beef-ridden country, there is also a plentiful supply of fish, as witnessed at the picturesque little fishing villages that dot the ocean shores of Argentina. Business is conducted here on the private enterprise system, and all one has to do to get into it is to join the Fishermen's Guild, buy a boat, and go fishing. This is the famous resort known as Mar del Plata, about 250 miles from Buenos Aires, where legal gambling and bathing are the featured attractions. Vying with Mar del Plata in popularity is the mountain resort known as Bariloche, a few hours by airplane from Buenos Aires, where winter and summer commune with each other in settings of exquisite grandeur. Modern but rustic hotels may be found nestling snugly in the foothills of the Andes. In this peaceful atmosphere where all seems to be right with the world, we most reluctantly conclude our glimpses of Argentina.